Hi, everyone, and welcome back into another session of Office Hours. I hope everyone can hear me and see me. If you're comfortable with switching on your camera, um, we would politely ask you to do it, but only if you feel like it. So, yeah, so here we are again. We're happy that you joined. So many of you joined and are with us here today. On today's session, just let me bring it up. Where is my preview? Okay. Apologies for that. I hope you can see it now. So for today's office hours, the topic is how to create photorealistic renders in Foyr Neo. Loads of you were very keen to have that session. You requested it, so hopefully you will learn some tricks and get some more informations about how to create nice realistic renders. So I will show you how to work with light on the renders, then choose all the settings to enhance realism, and I will guide you through all the settings that we have there. And also I will talk a bit about the materials and textures, which will help to um, make your renders even more realistic. Drape Decor, awesome. Thanks for hearing me out. You're very welcome. So yes, so now I will switch to one of my on screens of my project, and we can start from there. And I will start with any of, okay, you should be able to see that. I will just make it bigger, and I will switch to 3D straight away. So let's start, for example, with maybe this space here. So basically, when I do renders, I prefer to set my approximate angle in 3D. For me, it's just like a bit easier. I know where I am when I switch to renderings, and that's just the way I do it. You can do it a different way. That's totally up to you. It's just like, I will show you how I do it from my perspective. So I will double click on the space where I want to do the rendering. I will just like, set my angle approximately. And now I will go and click on take render. Now, when we are in the rendering machine, we have some new options here. So first of all, I will start with the ones that we have in the middle. So we have the aspect ratio. Aspect ratio, that's the size of the render, and you can choose between 9 by 16, 16 by 9, 4 by 3, 2 by 1, 1 by 1, or you can customize your render. To customize your render, you can use these white stripes that we have on the sides and on the top and bottom. And you only click on one and drag it, and it will um, go from both sides. So like you don't have to do it from all four. So it's either from left or right or top and bottom, and they will be cropped accordingly. So, for example, if you're setting your angle and you feel like you don't want to have it like, so wide, even like by zooming in or out, you can still crop it and you can like, customize your view. So that's the aspect ratio. Then we have a clip view. Clip view works for small spaces or also for bigger ones if you want to do wide angle. So if you want to do widest angle possible, I'll give you example from, let's say, a site where I have my, let's say that we want to do it from this site. So you can back out until you will see either your windows or even a full wall in front of you. So when we have renders like that, for example, for small spaces like bathrooms or smaller bedrooms, and you want to do a widest angle possible, you don't hide the wall. So we have the hide tool here that can, like with this tool, you can hide some items that you don't want them to be visible on your render. So for example, if I will have like a sideboard standing here and I don't want to have it in my view, I can use the hide tool. I can hide it just for the render. And then when I will go back to 2D or 3D, that will be still there. So it's only hidden for my render. But we don't do it with our walls or windows, because if we will hide a wall or a window, then it's disappearing and we can see the environment. So we don't see the wall. So if I will have, for example, instead of that art there, if I will have a mirror, then I won't see the wall that should be in front of that mirror. Then I will just see the environment. And then like your interior will be flooded with light. It will be very hard to do realistic render. It will be very hard to play with the light because everything will be flooded with the natural light and it will be too bright. So we never use the height tool for our walls or any like, glass doors or windows that we have for that it goes to the outside. So instead of using the height tool, we go to clip view that is in the top center of your screen. And now with the clip view, you move it just slightly, bit by bit, and now you're going through that wall like a ghost. So that wall is still behind you, but you're actually inside of your project. And now you're able to get a shot for like, wide angle, and the wall is still behind you. So when we have a mirror or any reflective surfaces in front of us, then we will see the wall behind us. So if you have any decor on that wall or any windows, then that will show, but the wall is still there. So we always use the clip view to go through the wall. So now when we are inside, we can play with the field of view. So the field of view will be always set on 70. Field of view that's zooming in and out of the space. So we can zoom out a bit. I do not recommend to go further off than 75-80. If you do it, I'll show you an example. The sides, they start to be too long and they don't look realistic. So either stick with 70, and for the most realistic renders, you can go as close as 45. So 45, that's the closest that you can go, excuse me, and that's the most realistic angle. We will zoom out just a bit so we are able to see a bit of our kitchen and our windows here. Now we can move it. You can either move it with your mouse or a trackpad, or you can use the pan tool to move it up and down and sideways without any rotation. So like if you're happy with your angle and you don't want to change it, then use the pan tool to move it up and down or sideways. Then we have the camera height. With the camera height, we set a height of the camera for our render. So if that feels too low or too high for you, you can use the camera height, or I personally use the pan tool. And for me, the camera height is very sensitive, like the tool is very sensitive. So I will just use the pan tool and I will move it up and down, or like, and I will just stop when I satisfied with the view looks realistic, then I will just like leave it as it is. Just let me see if we have drape decor. Is there a recommended aspect ratio? No, we don't have any recommended aspect ratio. I think it's more of what size do you need. Like if you want to show your clients big images, then stick to This one, whatever you will open it, that will be the widest one. So I'll presume that it will be 16 by 9. If you need smaller ones, for example, like you're creating portfolio or you want to do like a slideshow and it needs to be in a different size, then you can change the aspect ratio. But I try to do like a full screen, because then like whatever you will download the image and open it, then you can show it on the full screen. So like so it's just the image is larger, but that's up to your personal preferences. So we covered the aspect ratio, we covered the clip view, the field of view, and now the camera height. You can also zoom in and out of the space with your trackpad or a mouse, and then use the field of view. So for example, if you want to go with 45, but you feel like you're too close, you can also use your mouse or a trackpad to slightly zoom out of your space and leave the field of view on 45. So you can like, move either way. Now we will go to lighting settings. So with the lighting settings, you can choose between 3 times of day. So we have day, we have evening, and we have a nighttime. With the daytime, we have these presets, and we have these environments. Environment, that's what you will see in front of your windows. So like you can change it, you can rotate it. I will show you that in a second. I will just rotate it a bit differently so we can see from the window, or I can go to a different project and show you there. Then if we'll go for evening, then we still have presets. They're just a bit different, and we have different environments. We have the sun still, so we can choose if the sun is on or off. For the nighttime, the sun is out, and again we have different. I'll go to nighttime. So we have again different presets, and then we have different environments. When it goes to a time of day, then again, it all depends on your preferences, and it all depends what kind of atmosphere you want to create on your render. So if you want to have like a nice, bright renders done during daytime, then I tend to stick with either natural daylight. Sometimes I like the warm summers because it will give you like more warmer hues, and the fresh one is nice as well. For sometimes I will do the evening, so I will still leave the sun and like rotate the sun to create nice shadows, and I will either stick with the natural sunset or the long summer evenings. I don't think if I did the nighttime. Oh no, I did the nighttime for my environment, I think. And for my, sorry, exterior, I think, with the moonless golf environment. And I will show you that and that one as well. And we'll like, we'll go through all the settings again. So we will now go back to the daytime. We will leave the natural daytime and daylight. And now I will go to the product lighting. So with the product lighting, we have some settings here as well. So we have the sun. The sun can be either on or off. So if you feel like it's like, your render is a bit too bright, you can switch off the sun and you can just play with the internal lighting. I tend to leave it on. When it is in the middle, it doesn't show any shadows or anything like that. If you want your render to be even more realistic, then you can rotate your sun and you can create like a lovely shadows when like sun shines through your windows or like any other glass openings. So like you can play with it and you can create like a lovely shadows. Then exterior lighting, that's when you're doing render of the exterior. So we can either switch it on or off, and then we can play with the intensity. I will leave it off for this one. And then we have the overall product lighting. With the overall product lighting, we can actually choose light. So if I will go out and now back again, sometimes when you will be clicking on your lights, you can see that like none of them, that can mean that because you went through your wall with the clip view, your wall might be blocking your access to the light. So what I do, I will zoom in slightly I will choose my lights. As you can see, I highlighted one light. Now I will highlight this light. I will also add this one. So I will add all the lights that are visible on my render. I'll just switch off the pan view. And then I will just set my angle again. So let me go with this one here. If it doesn't want to select more lights, then just go out of it, go to product lighting again, and now you're able to choose more lights. Sometimes when we will change the angle, it might, not allow us to choose more, but we can simply now click on any that are visible on our render if you want more of them, like even the one on the hallway, if they're visible, then you're able to add these ones um, as well. And for like a nice um, high quality renders to keep your sides nice and straight. So if you want to do very professional renders when like where everything looks nice, everything looks like high quality, then I will recommend to keep your sides nice and straight. So like we don't go on any angles. I'll just do something like that and we should be fine. Now, when we added all the lights, they will show here. So if you can see, we have all the lights added. And now, for example, if you don't know which light is which, you can click on that little compass and that will highlight the light that you've chosen. And now you know with which light you're working. Now you can choose individually which light is on, which light is off. When it goes to the overall product lighting, so the intensity of the interior lighting, now we change that for all our lights. But now you can choose individually how many lights and which lights you want to have on, which lights you want to have off. And thanks to that, you can also play with atmosphere in your room. So let's say we will turn all of them just so they show. And now the interior lighting is always set on low, but I recommend to try like and do the preview with medium and then to do it with high and see how that will work for you. If you will feel that the medium is okay, or if it's too bright, switch to low. If it's too dark, then go with high and see if that makes a difference. You can also rotate your sun a bit more. So if you're feeling like your renders are still a bit too dark, then you can rotate the sun and like create more shadows, and that will allow for more natural light to come into the space. Let me go quickly through your questions. Donna Rich, are there any plans to add different environments or can you do a custom environment? I work a lot in suburban neighborhoods and the environments don't have anything that really works. Well, there are multiple requests for adding different environments. They're not added yet. Hopefully we'll have both to do it. It's very easy. You just need a good quality image with the environment that you want to use. And I will show you how you can add your own environment when we will finish with this one. And before we'll go to another space, I will show you how to do it. And we have a pro tip here from Zoom where you can use the trip depth and realism. But remember to be careful with your lights. Sometimes when we have too many of them, is that might be too much. So Donna, I don't understand the pro tip. Also, what do you by keep your side straight? So when it comes for the ceiling lights, then we have, for example, like ambient lighting going from our floor lamps and table lamps. So you can like, for nice renders when, for example, you can use more dimmed light. So let's say that we'll do the overall product lighting on low, but you can switch on all of them. Then like, it will create like a lovely ambient atmosphere in a room. But if you want to go with like a nice bright renders, then I recommend to like, play between switching them off or like, choosing which ones you want to actually switch on or off. Like, so like for this one, I switched all of them on, but you can play with that and you can use the previews as many times as you want and just work out what works best for you. Jan Holmes, can they be named? The lights, no, I don't think so. I actually never checked that, but they have numbers. So like wherever you go here, you can see the numbers. So like they don't have names, they have numbers. Okay, so we covered that. When it comes for the straight sides, I mean these sides, both of them here, and also our ceiling space. So for example, like, if you will have them cricket, for example, like this, then your render, it won't look professional and like, and clean. So like I always try to keep my sides, like if I'll go down, and I just try to keep them straight. So I like, like I look at these sides. So these sides on left and right, and also top and bottom. So I will look, as you can see when I'm rotating my view, I will also look at my ceiling space, and I try to have both of my sides and my ceiling space straight if I can. Like if you need to do a render from an angle or from a top down, that's like, totally fine. But if you're doing a render, like you're entering the room and you just want to see like, either one side of a room or like a full room, then try to keep your sides nice and straight. It just looks way more professional and the renders, they're just nicer. So now for the so okay, so we have all the settings and now we can do the preview. So click on a preview render. I always recommend to use your preview render before you click on take a render. Now with the preview, you can see if you're happy with the view that you set, if you're happy with all the settings, like there is always a bit of variation between the preview and the full render, especially if you're going for 4K or 12K. Like the render, the preview won't have, as high quality, but you will be able to see like for example, even the textures, like if your textures will show up, let's say, way lighter, because usually they do. Like they will barely ever show darker on the render. Usually they will show lighter. So if you will see that, for example, like this brown is not as deep as you want it, then you can just go back and like, and darken it a bit before you actually go and take a render. Also, if you're like, happy with your preview, I always recommend to save your views. So when your preview is done and you're happy with everything, then you can go to save view. Just click on save view, give it a name or a number, and click on save. Then when you will go back to 2D or 3D, and for example, change the color of your sofas or change the color of the walls, or like you would think that you would like to change any of the lights, like anything at all, then you can click on take a render again. You can go to views and now you can just click on any of the views and that will open with your saved settings. So the only thing that you have to do is to click on take a render and you're ready to go. So you don't have to reset all the settings. That's why I always recommend to do it. I always recommend to save your views. If, for example, we have this view saved, so let's go and save it. I will save it. And now like I have all my lights added. So like, I don't have to go and add more lights. I can just rotate it. For example, let's say that I want to do an angle from this side and like, just a bit more of a close up for my living room. Now, if you will see sides like that, like, disappearing, then go to clip view and try to just move it slightly back because that's just your clip view. So that's like, the part of the wall that we went through. So like if you see any glitches on both sides, then just go with your clip view and like, take it out a bit. So yes, so now, for example, if I will go with this angle, then I can again go to my lighting, go to my product lighting. Now I can choose which lights again I want them to be on, I want them to be off, etc. And now if I want to set this view again, save it, then I can go to save view. We click on save as new view because otherwise you will overwrite the one that you're saved a minute ago. So now I will just go with the save as new view. I will give it a different name or a different number. And I have another view saved. So like I don't have to go and add all the lights, every time on and on again. You can only do it once and then use your save tool and save your view. So for example, here, like I have my preview, I'm happy with it. So now I will go to take a render and here you can choose your resolution. So we have a HD. For the HD, that requires one rendering credit per render. With a 2K, we have 2 credits, 4K, that's 3 credits, and 12K, that's 6 credits. Um, if you're, for example, if your clients are not very picky and they just want to see how the space will look like, they're not very pushy on like see like the textures in details, etc., then you can go away with HD or 2K. They still will be a good quality, and like if they don't want to see like loads of details and they're fine just with like a high quality image, then you can stick with the HD or 2D. When it comes to showing textures, so like for example, if you have like a fluffy texture on your rug or you have like a leather texture on your sofas and you want it to show, then I will recommend to use a 2K, 4K or 12K. With a 12K, even the light distribution is a bit different and it's like just more realistic. So if you have loads of credits and you really want to go for like a wow factor, then I do recommend to use the 12K. Let me go to your questions because I don't want to miss anything. Jan Holmes, does it save the position or all settings like environment? Yes, it saves it all. So whatever settings you will do, choose your environment, lights position, lights intensity, either it is low, medium, or high. It will be all saved. So like, then you will just click on take render. You can still change the settings, but that will save you some time on setting the your view and settings again. Okay, so we don't have any more questions. So now I will show you how to create the custom environment, and then we will go to a um, different project, and I will show you how to set the environment for example, so we're not working on one space only. So now to set your environment, we will go back to we are in 3D, but we will go back and we can do it either in 2D or 3D. 2D is a bit simpler. So go to 2D and now just let me remove this one, or actually maybe that will be okay. Okay, we will do it in the office so we don't have like, anything else in our view. So like, just to show you an example, or just let me open actually one of my projects and I have a custom environment there. So it will be even better to show you what I mean. So basically, when we are creating custom environment, we just have to build a wall in front of our window. So I try to do it like in a close proximity, because like then it just looks realistic, and you don't see anything in the bottom, and like on the side that is like like a going like a different view going into your set view. So for example, like we have here, we have a large window, and I just build a wall. So that's a simply wall tool, and you just go from one side to the other, wider than your window is. So you can build your wall a bit wider. You can also add sides. So if you want to add sides, so for example, if you will be doing your render from an angle, you can add sides. It's just like, it will be quite hard to fit like image of your environment there. So like I would recommend to either build like a longer wall and just like stick with your angles, so like you're not able to see beyond that wall. So for example, like you're not able to see this distance here. So now if I will switch to 3D, I will show you how I applied the custom environment on that. So like we have the wall built in front of our window. You can have it the same height as all your walls, or like you can even make it a bit higher. And now we'll go to 3D. I will go with the reset. And so this is my wall here. And what I did is I just uploaded a texture. So I uploaded an image of the outside that I wanted to use as a texture. So if I will go to my uploaded, then I have this image of a garden with like a garden room in the back. And I simply dragged and drop it like any other texture on that wall. Now, when we are in 3D, as you can see, that image looks a bit blurry. And don't worry about it, because that's the same with the textures. If you're using your custom textures, like for example, marbles, that like usually happens with marbles. When I apply a marble, then in 3D it looks blurry, like it doesn't look clean. But then when you will do the render, everything will go into high quality, so you don't have to be worried about it. It will all clear up. So for example, when we have this environment here. So what I meant going on the angle, like if I will go like around that, then I can the project. So if I will go to take render, then I will see like the rest of the environment. Like I don't want that, so I will just try to set my view so I only see my set view. The same with your camera height. You can't go too low because you will see it from the the ground level. So like try to set it on the height that you're not able to see any other environment, just the one that you applied. So now if I will drop any of the ones that I have with the environment in the back. I should have them somewhere here. Oh, even this one. I'll show you this one, and you will see that the view out has cleared out, and it looks like the view is actually there. So let me bring that up, and I'll just see what I'm sharing with you. Okay. So that's this one, should be able to see it. And as you can see, it's nice and clear outside. So it actually looks like, like the that garden is there behind the window. I hope, yeah, you're able to see it. I can even zoom in a bit. And as you can see, that's a really nice, good quality image there, even though in 3D it looks a bit blurry. So don't be scared, to use your own environments, even if they look, a bit blurry. Sometimes when you have a larger area, that might not work. And because the image, when you will drop it and the area will be too big, it will like, either stretch out, so try to keep that in mind as well. I'm not an expert when it comes to editing um downloaded images. So like, if you know how to change the size of it, so like, it will go nicely even on a bigger surface, then like, you're like, if you're able to do it, then that's great. But if not, then try to stick with like, smaller surfaces, and then you'll be grand. I think I did one with like a lake outside the window, also with like a mountains. So yeah, so you're able to do it. Eleonora, what quality of render is that image? I will tell you in a second. I think that's a 12K actually. I should have it here in the description. I don't have it here. Go to the views. I think that's a 12K. As I know, like I try to use the 12K for the renders. Let me go back here and go to view renders. Mm, Let me see here just to make sure, like 100%. But I'll be thinking that I did the 12K. Just let me see. Should be somewhere down here. Yes, that's a 12K. That's a 12K. So just to confirm, that's the 12K. So that's how you can add your own environment to the render. Okay, so now where's my Zoom? Where are we here? Okay, I will share this one now. And now I will go to another project, and I will take you through how to set the environment. So let's go to, for example, the old money library. So I'll just refresh it, and then I will go quickly on the exterior, so like a garden, and I will show you quickly how you can do renders for your outside, and we will also have like a nice challenge for you at the end. And if you have any questions, type them in, and I will try to answer as many of them as I can. Drape decor. Can we create a 3D walkthrough of the full floor plan, meaning moving from one room to another? Yes, we can. We can actually have another like office hours about how to create walkthroughs, as there's loads of settings there. And I know that loads of our clients, they actually don't know of some of the settings that we have there. But yes, we can. The only downside is that we can only create walkthroughs for single floors. So like if you have a double floor, then you won't be able to create like, that you go up the stairs and create renders up and down. So they are for um, one-story floor plans. Would love to have it handled in another office hour call. Yes, yeah, we can think about it definitely. I was actually thinking about it myself, because now, like when we are covering the renderings, it would be nice to cover the walkthroughs as well. And the walkthroughs are actually very nice quality, and you're getting a link that you can share with your customers. So like you can send the link to them and they can open it at their end, and like, go around the project. So they're really nice. Okay, so now we will go with the take a render, and I will go to my saved views. So it will just save us a bit of time with like, setting all the settings. And we will just go through setting the environment. So, okay, let me go with this one maybe. So like this one is cropped a bit. I can go more with Let's change it to a full screen. And now like we have the windows visible on this side. As you can see, I still have my sides nice and straight. I have the 45 degrees. Just try to zoom in a bit more. And I also use the clip view to go through the wall that is behind me. So now go back to the lighting and the same settings for all the renders. And now we will just go for the environment. So for this environment, I use the path in the forest. And as you can see, you can rotate each view. So like you can choose a part of the view that works best for your render. Now with this one, I also had all the lights, I think on a different angle. I had all of them added. So like, again, you can choose which lights are on or off. So that's how you will set your own environment. For example, for this one, the Moroccan bedroom, you can just refresh it. I have, I think, the beach. So again, we can rotate the view and choose the part of the view that works best for our exterior. I know that some of you struggles with like, the environment, but like, like we have to remember that this is a software for interior design and like, not always we can create as realistic renders like for example with view that like our clients have from their window. I think like it's more of a sample of like what we want to create for them. So like if you have like a similar environment, I think you should be fine to use it. Like if you need very specific one, then like go with your own environment, build the wall, upload an image. But like like I being honest, like I only used it few times just like for the variation. But I think you will be fine with like with the using the any of the environments that we have. So like for example with this one we can go with the environment and I use the Mondello Beach and now I just like rotated it to where I wanted it to be. Like we can have some palm trees, for example, and then like you can add your settings and click on take a render and you'll be fine. Now for the exterior, so we have our garden here. Let me refresh that as well. And for your exterior renders, the first thing that you have to do, you have to go to File, you have to go to Settings, and you have to switch off your auto hide wall. Because if you have your auto hide wall, then whenever you will rotate your view, your wall that you're looking at will disappear. And like, we don't want that because for the exterior, we need to see all our walls. So this is the end, the project. Like I added a bit of a garden just for my renders to be even more realistic. So you can also do that and like, add like more trees on the sides. So like the your project doesn't look like it's floating in the air. So I will show you in 3D how that looks. So as you can see, I just built it like a floor with like no walls, not anything, and just added some trees. So then when I will go for the rendering, like I have some trees and they will just blend with the environment that I will add, and it just looks way more realistic. Now, if I go to File, Settings, and if I would like, scroll in a bit more, then if you will have your auto hide wall on, then like your walls will be disappearing. When you have it off, then you can see everything that is outside and you can start working with your elevation. All the settings works the same. It's just, let me go to my views, saved views. And now, for example, with this one, I used a nighttime actually, and I used all the lights to be on. and it created really nice, lovely atmosphere where you can see all the lights and the patio and the outside. So it looked way better than in like with the daylight. So we can play with times of day um as well. Now for this one, let me bring any of the ones that were like this one is more in a daytime, so it's on the angle. You can again add all the lights that you have. And for this one, we have where when you go to lighting settings and product lighting, then we have the exterior lighting. So that's the intensity of your exterior light. You can start with the low and see how that will go on the preview. If it's too dark, go with medium. Again, if it's too dark, go with high. If it's too high, then just go back to the low one. So let me bring this one up. So like this one was more in a daytime. Just let me share it with you. That's the preview. Okay, so we have it here. And like, you can see the outside. So I have a bit of a garden. I added some plants. And now for the other one, let me bring the one. Just for the outside, looking at the patio and the house. So that's this one, the preview garden. There we go. So that's the one, and that's actually the environment. I just rotated it, so there's more trees, and as you can see with the trees that I added, like it actually sits nicely with the environment that is in the back. So now I will quickly go through the challenge that we have for you. And then if we have some questions, we still have like 7 minutes to go. So if you have some questions, drop them in and I will cover the our what we have for the child the next challenge for you. Let me bring the screen back again. So um the what we have for your challenge. Create the most realistic render on Foyr Neo, sorry. And the rewards: win a 1 month extension of your current plan, be spotlighted during our next office hours, and get a shout out on Foyr's 216K plus Instagram community. So as you can see, the rewards are nice, and we want you to actually play with the renderings, like and try for yourself if you're able to add your lights and like play with them, and if you're actually able to create really nice realistic renders. So we are hoping to see loads and loads of entries. So submit your entry via the type form that will be sent to you. The deadline is Tuesday, 29 July, 9 p.m. PST. And of course, originality counts and only one submission per participant. And we will choose top 3 entries as we did with the Create New Product tool. And we will talk about them on our next week's office hours, and we will choose the winner then. Okay, let me go through. Okay, do you have any questions about anything that we covered today? If you have any, then just drop them in chat. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here again another week. You're very welcome, all of you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jane. Thanks so much. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week. And we're waiting for your amazing renders. Bye all.